sounds a bit hazy. Checking the forecast, things looking crazy. A storm on the horizon, the pressure is low. Gotta get moving, put on a show. The news is all buzzing, state of alert, but we've got a plan, we're ready to work. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. See a little fire or a rising flood, we're a well-oiled machine, we're running in the mud. From the city hall meetings to the rescue teams, turning worst case scenarios into hopeful dreams. We're training the people, we're stocking the gear, we're the team you can count on when trouble is near. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. It's more than a job, it's a calling you see. Prepared for the present and what's yet to be. Every second counts, we're ready to react for our communities. We're making an impact. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. Yeah, we're picking you up, we're ready to work. Let's get this show on the road. Well, my word, my golly gee, isn't that wild? We lost our sound. This is wild, guys. This is wild. We're coming on the air, and all of a sudden, our sound, our ability to control the computer, and our broadcast software went out the window at the same time. We're live here on the air with you guys. I promise you, we're live on the air with you right now with the Emergency Management Associates. My name is Ron Tyler. We're coming to you from the Area Command, 392 miles west of Kittiawak Beach, North Carolina. That's where we're at, guys. Get with it, guys. It's going to be crazy. I promise you, the next few days is going to be totally crazy, okay? I've been watching the forecast literally all over the world, and everything's going to get crazy from here on out all weekend long, or all week long, okay? For one, the storms are going to completely change. In some cases, we've had really great weather, and all of a sudden we're going to have severe thunderstorms, rain, and more rain, and tornadoes, and some of it may turn into snow by the end of this week. That's wild, isn't it? But that's a forecast for wherever you are, literally, around the world. That's what's going to happen. So everybody bat down the hatches, get your emergency gear in tow, making sure you have everything you need, and get in line, because things are going to get really weird all weekend long. Things are going to get wild. Now, during this past weekend, things got really wild yesterday. Let's bring up the USGS map. I'm going to show you briefly what happened. The USGS is not even doing this map justice at all. At all. They're not telling us about everything that happened. Not even telling us about everything that happened. Not even. Not at all. Okay? Overall, we had 1,400 earthquakes around the globe yesterday. Over 1,400 earthquakes hit around the world yesterday here on this earth. Okay? It was wild. I was watching everything hit. I was watching everything hit around the world, literally. Over here in the Kamchatka Peninsula, let me bring that up for you right now. You're going to want to see this, guys. This is insane. Over here in the Kamchatka Peninsula, we had a 6.8 earthquake right here. Right here. Today they're showing 2 earthquakes. What a joke. They're showing 2 lousy earthquakes up here in Kamchatka Peninsula today. That's a farce. That's a literal farce. Okay? Now, let me bring up my other device here. I want to show you what exactly is going on right now. Okay? What the USGS is not showing us is not true. What they're showing us is not true. Okay? Now I'm going to bring up our webcam for a few minutes here to show you what's going on. Look at this. They're showing us 2 earthquakes. They're showing us 2 earthquakes here. There are actually 4 earthquakes. 4 earthquakes. One of them on land. One of them on land. This hit last night, late last night. Let me show it to you right here. This is a 4.76 moderate earthquake. 4.76 moderate earthquake. What does that mean? Okay. Normally, it would mean it was a shaking earthquake that can knock things, pictures, and plaques off of walls, can knock books and knickknacks off of shelves, and it can rattle the dishes and plates in the cupboards and glasses as well. Where if the cupboard doors are not secured, you may lose your items off the shelves in your kitchen. The same thing applies to all over your home. Now, USGS would like to call this a light earthquake. There's no such thing as a light earthquake. I don't give a flying rat's butt. I don't give a flying rat's frosty keister what USGS wants to call it. They're calling 3.0 small quakes. If a small quake is a 3.0, 3.9, then what is a 4.0, 4.9? They cannot be light earthquakes. These are still moderate quakes. Moderate quakes do moderate damage. But here on the Kamchatka Peninsula, guess what? Nobody's here that felt it. This Kamchatka Peninsula is very sparsely populated. Very sparsely populated. As a result, nobody, I think, even felt this earthquake at all. At all. Next, going further south. Okay? Going further south, right here. They're showing this large 5.0 earthquake here. They're showing this large 5.0 earthquake right there. Then they're showing us something else further south. But guess what? There's one closer to this 5.0 earthquake. This is another 4.4 earthquake. 4.4 moderate earthquake right next to the 5.0. Okay, now these earthquakes are very, very shallow earthquakes. This is at 25 miles deep. 25 miles deep. The 5.0 guys, guess what? The 5.0 earthquake is 23 miles deep. What is this other earthquake further to the south? This is another 4.5 earthquake here. 4.5 earthquake. This is 167 miles east-southeast of Kursk, Russia, to the south. They're trying to pinpoint this earthquake as being in the Kuril Islands, which it is not. It's off the southeast coast of the Kamchatka Peninsula. Southeast coast of Kamchatka Peninsula here. This is 6.210 kilometers deep. 6.2 miles, 10 kilometers deep. shell earthquakes, all four of these earthquakes. All four of these earthquakes, even though they're not showing all four of them here. They're showing 2 on the USGS map, which is a joke. A joke. Yesterday's 6.7. All these earthquakes here that you see here are aftershocks. I just showed you 2 others here that are showing today that are aftershocks. The 6.7 was also an aftershock. An aftershock of a much larger 6.8, 6.9, 7.2, 7.4, 7.7, 8.8, 9.4 earthquake. 8.8. After all the other earthquakes that hit, another 8.8 hit. And I showed you when that hit, that it was a much larger earthquake, much like a 9.4 earthquake. Much like a 9.4 earthquake, USGS did not want to say it was. USGS is scared of large earthquakes. That huge earthquake, that 9.4 earthquake caused a tsunami all the way across the Pacific coast, to Pacific Ocean, I should say, all the way over to Alaska, mainland United States and Canada, all the way down to Central America, South America, and the South Pacific Islands, and also Japan. Tsunami. But USGS did not even want to admit that until they'd been caught. They don't like to even admit anything. Okay? But just like they are not admitting everything, here's a good example of that today. They're showing 4, they're showing 2, we're showing 4. We're showing 4 earthquakes here. Okay? That's typical. That's very typical. Let's go down here to Japan. Go down here in Japan. They're showing 3 earthquakes here in Japan. They're showing 3 earthquakes down in Japan. This one further to the south is in the Japanese volcano islands. Or I should say not the volcano, but the Izu Islands belonging to Japan. This is a large 5.0 earthquake. Large 5.0 earthquake. This is also 6.2 miles, 10 kilometers deep. But again, this is not the only earthquake to hit here. It's not the only earthquake to hit here. Now, guys, this is insane. They want to say that 3 earthquakes hit Japan today. Guess what? They're wrong. How about 7 earthquakes hitting here in Japan today? 7 earthquakes. Let's talk about these earthquakes here. Okay? First off, this earthquake in southern Japan here. Okay? This is a 4.1 earthquake near Maizuru, Japan. Maizuru, Japan. This earthquake here is 226.5 miles deep. This is a moderately deep earthquake. Moderately deep earthquake, guys. Okay? This is actually one of the deepest earthquakes I've seen here in Japan, but still a moderately deep earthquake. Now, this was a 4.1 earthquake. What does that mean? It simply means this. Moderate earthquake can cause moderate damage, but in this case, this is a semi-deep quake, moderately deep earthquake. If this had been a shallow quake, there'd be more moderate damage. But in this case, I don't think they had any damage at all. I don't believe they had any damage at all. Okay? Now, there's another earthquake here. Over towards Eastern Shore here. Over towards the Eastern Shore here. Right here. Right here. This is a 3.4 small quake. This is a 3.4 small quake, and USGS is not even showing it. Not at all. Why not? I have to ask the question, why aren't they showing it? Okay? This is stupid. This is borderline insanity, guys. Borderline insanity. Now, they're not showing another earthquake here. I'm going to show it to you in just a second here. This earthquake is over near Fukushima. Over near Fukushima here. Right up in here. Okay? This is a 3.8 earthquake. This is a 3.8 earthquake, guys. Near Fukushima, Japan. Okay? This is off the coast of Fukushima, Japan here. Just off the coast of Fukushima. 3.8 small earthquake, 37.3 miles deep. Very shallow quake. Very shallow quake. Off land, on the coast, in the water. Off in the water. This being a small 3.8, I don't think anybody felt this earthquake at all. Because the ocean waters absorb the shock waves of this quake. Not far enough offshore, I don't think anybody even felt anything at all. Okay? But there's something else here. Over here off of Hokkaido. Off of Hokkaido, Japan. See where this earthquake is? This bit of land is connected to the southern western side of Hokkaido, Japan. Guess what? This is a 5.9, 6.0 earthquake. 5.9, 6.0 earthquake. Now, guys, this was actually a 6.4 earthquake. This was actually a 6.4 earthquake. Because USGS did not even put out the information. That's number one. They didn't even show the information until just recently, just within the last hour. Just within the last hour did they even show anything. This was a 6.4 earthquake. They want to call it a 5.8, 6.4 earthquake. 6.4 very strong earthquake. Okay? Now, I'm going to zoom in here and show you this. Okay? This is near Otobe, Japan. Otobe, Japan here. Right there. This is in a very mountainous area. Very mountainous area. Now, I did my research about this earthquake before I came on the air. Nobody's reporting this earthquake at all. Nobody. Not the U.S. news and no international news coming out of Japan as well. Nobody's reporting this earthquake at all. Very strong earthquake. Whether it's a 5.9 or a 6.4 like I'm calling it, this is a very strong earthquake. Now, if there's anybody living here, I don't know. I don't know. There are towns to the north that may have felt this. That town called Yakutumo may have felt this earthquake. The town off to the west called Mori may have felt this earthquake. The cities down to the south here, Nane, Yokuto, and Hokkaido felt this earthquake. These are large enough communities that have felt this earthquake. They're close enough. Off here to the west. Off here to the west. See these other towns here? They felt this earthquake. Now, I do not know any details about this earthquake because nobody's talking about it. But I do know this was a very strong earthquake. There's going to be some kind of damages here in Japan. There's going to be some kind of damages here on the island of Hokkaido, Japan. That's where this is. Hokkaido, Japan. Okay? That's a big quake. This happened at 11:45 a.m. this morning Eastern Time. 11:45 a.m. Eastern Time. This is in the middle of the night Japanese time. In the middle of the night Japanese time. So these people got woken up, probably shaken out of their beds. They may have had some damage to their homes as well. Okay? Unreal. Unreal. Let's back out here. I want to show you something else here that the agency's not telling us about. Down here further to the southeast, off the coast of Honshu, Japan, off the coast of Honshu, Japan here, guys. Just a second. I just lost my mouse here. I'll try to get that back here for you. Oh, that's weird. Just a second here. Okay, I got my mouse back. Off the east coast of Honshu, Japan, right here, we have a 4.8 earthquake here. 4.8 earthquake here. USGS is not even showing this earthquake. 4.8 moderate earthquake here. Okay, not showing half of these earthquakes at all. Not even showing half of these earthquakes here. They are showing 3, we are showing 2, 4, 5, 6 earthquakes. Actually, they are showing 3, we're showing 6 earthquakes here. 6 earthquakes here in Japan. Unreal. And 2 of those are large earthquakes. 2 of those are large earthquakes. Now, let's go over further to the west here. Now we're talking about Korea, South Korea here. Okay? Namhangung, South Korea. NAMHAE-GUN, South Korea. This is a 2.0 minor earthquake here. 2.0 minor earthquake here off the coast of southern Korea, South Korea here. It appears to be on an island, in fact. This one appears to be on an island here, just off the southern coast of South Korea. Okay? They're not showing that as well. Okay? This is typical of the U.S. agency. They don't even want to take responsibility for squat. Literally squat. Let's go down in the Ryukyu Islands south of Japan here. Just lit up this earthquake here. This is a 4.4 earthquake here. 4.4 earthquake, 38 miles southeast of Tairu, Japan. T-A-I-R-A, Japan. 4.4 earthquake here. Okay, now let's go further south. Okay, over here in the Mariana Islands area. In the Mariana Islands area here. Right there. Okay, this is a 4.8 earthquake here as well. They've got this earthquake here. 4.8 earthquake here in the Northern Mariana Islands. Okay, now I want to go over to the Philippines. I want to go over here to the Philippines. There's a reason for it too. Here in the Philippines, down off the coast of Luzon, Philippines to the north. The northern island of Luzon, Philippines, where you see Manila here. Okay, off to the south there. Southwest Manila, Philippines here. This is a 3.2 earthquake here. 3.2 small earthquake here. Let's go further south here on the west central side of the Philippines here. West central side of the Philippines here. Right here. Okay, this island you see right in the center of your screen, this earthquake is 6 miles west of Hinoma, Japan, Hinoma, Philippines. Hinoma, Philippines. This is the 3.5 earthquake here, off the coast here, in the water. Okay? Further to the south. Okay? In this case, we're going over here to Mindanao, Philippines, the largest island here in the southern Philippines here. Okay? Right over here in the south central part of Mindanao, Philippines here. Right about here. Here it says North Coataba, Philippines here. This is a 3.5 minor, small earthquake here. 3.5 small earthquake here. Okay? Off the eastern coast of Mindanao, Philippines. Off the eastern coast of Mindanao, Philippines here. Right about there. Right about there. This is a 3.6 small earthquake here. 3.6 small earthquake there. Okay? We're not done here. Not even. Now, yesterday over here in Indonesia, down here in Indonesia, there were 100 earthquakes here in Indonesia here. 100 earthquakes here in Indonesia yesterday. Look what they're not showing here. Not one earthquake shown here on the USGS map. Nothing. Nothing. Guess what? There are dozens upon dozens of earthquakes here in Indonesia today. Look at this. Dozens and dozens of earthquakes here in Indonesia. Over 100 earthquakes here yesterday. I think we have probably 48 earthquakes here today. Yesterday we had over 100 earthquakes. Actually, not over, but we had 95 earthquakes here in Indonesia yesterday. Let's go over here to Australia, southwestern Australia. Okay? Mount Burgess here in southwestern Australia. We have a 2.65 earthquake here. 2.65 earthquake here. USGS shows nothing. 2.65 minor earthquake here in southwestern Australia. Okay? They don't show anything on the USGS map. Typical. Rarely do they ever show anything here. Okay? Now I want to go over to Papua, Indonesia. Papua, Indonesia right up here. See the dividing line here between Papua New Guinea and Papua, Indonesia? USGS not showing us one earthquake here, not at all. None. There are 5 earthquakes here in Papua, Indonesia, actually 6. 6 of them. This is over here in the western part of Papua, Indonesia. This is a 4.2 minor earthquake here. 4.2 minor earthquake here. We go to the east. Central Papua, Indonesia. This is a 3.4 small earthquake here. Notice where these earthquakes are at. Notice where these earthquakes are at. They're on the edge of the plate again. 7 different tectonic plates in this region. All these plates are subducting one under the other here. All these plates are subducting just like this, one under the other, like that. That's what's happening. That's why we have so many earthquakes here in the area of Indonesia. That's what's going on here. Further to the east, this time we're in Papua New Guinea. Papua New Guinea. This is a 2.8 earthquake here. 2.8 earthquake there. Further to the east, this is a 2.5 minor earthquake here. Again, look where these earthquakes are. On the edge of the plate. Edge of the plate. Further to the south. This one troubles me a little bit, but this is just minor earthquake. Minor earthquake. This happened on land. This is a 2.6 earthquake here. The only problem with that is it's on land, but nobody felt it. Minor quakes, nobody feels unless they're very, very sensitive. Okay, that's that there. There's one more earthquake to the south here, to the south. Highland, Papua, Indonesia. This is the 3.4 earthquake here. 3.4 earthquake here. One more earthquake here, guys. One more earthquake here. This one, USGS is talking about. USGS is talking about this earthquake right there. This is a 4.3 earthquake here. 61 miles west-northwest of Madang, Papua New Guinea. We have earthquakes here. This is a moderate earthquake. Moderate earthquakes can cause moderate shaking, like I said. Now, guys, there are towns here. There are towns. This is northwest of Madang, Papua New Guinea. People living over here at the coastline felt this earthquake. They felt it. Now, as you can see, this is a semi-populated town. Small town, but still semi-populated here. Okay? Up here to the north, an earthquake. An earthquake. People felt this earthquake here. Small towns feel these earthquakes. People felt these earthquakes because these are moderate quakes. Moderate earthquakes can cause a lot of damage here in these poor cities and towns here in Papua New Guinea. This is a third world country. This is a third world country here. Their lives can be completely devastated by an earthquake of this magnitude. Minor tremors, minor earthquakes, not a big deal. But moderate earthquakes can cause moderate damage regardless of what USGS wants to call them. They can call them light all they want. But moderate earthquakes can still cause moderate damage. Okay? I just hate it when our own agency, in our own country, we are the Western world, we are the center of the Western world. We're supposed to be setting the example for the world, and still USGS wants to play games. Let's go over to Vanuatu right now. Move over further here to the east of Vanuatu. The Solomon Islands, we don't have records of any earthquakes today, but over here in Vanuatu, we do. This is a 3.8 small earthquake. 3.8 small earthquake here in Vanuatu. Okay? This is out in the water. Nobody felt this earthquake at all. Okay? Going further to the southeast here. Now we are in the Fiji Islands here. Fiji Islands here. Okay? USGS is saying this is a 4.6. I believe it is. I believe it is. The European agency's only showing this earthquake here. They're only showing one earthquake here right there. Out in the open waters here, nobody felt this earthquake. The ocean waters of the Pacific Ocean absorbed the shockwaves of this quake. This quake, guys, being a 4.6 moderate quake, was 309 miles deep. 309 miles deep. Guess what? Guess what, guys? This was a pretty deep earthquake. This was a pretty deep earthquake, guys. Okay? This appears to be, just a second here, I've got to turn this around here. Okay? This earthquake is 497 kilometers deep. 497 kilometers deep. Let's take down the USGS map and bring up the depth to magnitude conversion chart. Again, Dawn in England and Rebecca here in North Carolina made this conversion chart. That way we can see the depth of the earthquake and how strong this earthquake was. 467 kilometers deep. We go over here to this left column here. We see 470 here. We have to add a 0.94 to this earthquake here. This is a 4.6. So now we're going to talk about a 5.5 earthquake. 5.5 earthquake here. This 4.6 earthquake here in Fiji. This 4.6 earthquake here in Fiji is going to propagate or birth a large earthquake, a 5.5 large earthquake for the next 3 to 10 days. 5.5 earthquake here in the next 3 to 10 days. Will happen either here in Fiji or Tonga, Vanuatu, the Solomon Islands, almost anywhere in this region. Just lost my cursor again. Hold on a second, I'm going to try to fix this. I got it. Okay. This earthquake is going to probably 5.5 earthquake within the next 3 to 10 days. Now, what's that going to do? That earthquake could be over here in Tonga, Samoa region. It could go over here to the west and be over here in the Legacy Islands here. New Caledonia. It could go over here to Vanuatu, or the Solomon Islands, or even into Papua New Guinea over here. But we're going to see a 5.5 earthquake here in the next 3 to 10 days. Okay? It can happen. But again, USGS not showing any other earthquakes here. What a joke. What a joke this is. Guess what? Guess what, guys? I want you to take a look at New Zealand. New Zealand, guys. Look at all these earthquakes here. Okay? The North Island of New Zealand is getting smacked. Yes, most of these earthquakes are minor earthquakes, 2.0, 2.9. There are some 3.0s here as well. For example, this earthquake further off the northeast coast here is a 3.50 earthquake. 3.5 earthquake there. Going further south, we have a 3.0 earthquake there. Both those earthquakes are small earthquakes. Okay? Going south, 2.63. 2.63 here. This is the North Island of New Zealand we're talking about. Right over here. See that lake, Taupo Lake? That's a volcano. That is Taupo volcano here. This is a very large volcano. This is a super volcano here, guys. Super volcano. Also something you need to know as well. Over here on the east coast of New Zealand here, off the North Island, they are expecting an 8.0 subduction quake here. They are expecting a 8.0 magnitude subduction quake here within the next 25 years. Yes, it could happen today, it could happen tomorrow or next year. But they're still expecting an 8.0 earthquake here. It can happen. Today, they've experienced all kinds of earthquakes here on the east coast of North Island. All kinds of earthquakes. I'm going to go north to south here and tell you about these earthquakes here. Started up here in the north. This is a 2.63 earthquake here. For the south, just barely off the east coast here. Just barely off the east coast here. Just north of Gisborne, New Zealand. 2.27, 2.59, and 2.41. minor earthquakes there. Then we go further south near Hawks Bay. Hawks Bay right there. Okay. This is a 2.53 earthquake. Minor earthquake there. 2.53. Okay. Then we go over to this little cove area here. Large cove area. Okay. We have two earthquakes there. Okay. We have a 2.33 and we have a 2.43 right there. Going south, we have a 2.37 and a 2.38 earthquake there. Two earthquakes. Now we go further to the Tonga Trench. The Tonga Trench that cuts through the North Island here. Two earthquakes here. 2.33 and 2.34. Minor earthquakes. Minor earthquakes. Now I want to go further up here to the north on the northeast side and west side of Topo Volcano. Topo Volcano right there. First to the northeast. This is a 2.33 earthquake, minor earthquake. Okay. Then almost straight to the northeast here on the fault line. This is the Fiji Trench here. The Fiji Trench. Okay. That is a 2.27 earthquake. Then to the northwest of Topo Volcano, we have a 2.46 earthquake there. 2.46 earthquake right there. Then just barely south of the volcano that you can see here, we have two more earthquakes here. Okay. This one right here is on the very southern edge of Topo Volcano. This is a 2.3 earthquake there. 2.3 earthquake right there. Further to the west, this is a 2.27 earthquake here. Just south and west of Topo Volcano. Super volcano. These are minor earthquakes. Nobody felt these earthquakes at all. At all. Then we go over to the southwesternmost volcano here on the North Island here. USGS is not showing any earthquakes. There are three of them. Three of them. One to the west of this volcano. This is near Tutuawa, New Zealand. 2.95 minor earthquake. On the west side of the volcano. This is a 2.47 minor earthquake. South there in the Cook Strait. This is a 2.56 earthquake here. 2.56 earthquake there. Further south into the Cook Strait, we have two more earthquakes. One is a 2.21, and the other is also a 2.21 earthquake right there. Okay. Then we go to the South Island. Go down here to South Island. Notice where the Tonga Trench is here. The Tonga Trench. The Fiji Trench cut through the north part of the North Island. Cut right through the North Island here. But the Tonga Trench comes down the east side of the North Island, where we're going to have that major earthquake. Then it comes down here and cuts through the South Island here. Cuts through the South Island here. Here's where we have an earthquake, again on the Tonga Trench. Okay, this is a 2.58 minor earthquake. 2.58. More earthquakes here, three more here. Actually, no, I'm going to take you up further to the northwest. This near the coastline, the South Island. This is a 2.43 earthquake there. Then back to the Tonga Trench here, cutting through the South Island. This is a 2.46 earthquake there. This is a 2.81 minor earthquake. And further to the south, this is a 2.36 earthquake there. Okay. Then we come down here to the southeastern side of the island. This is a 2.41 earthquake there. Then over on the southwest side of the island, 3 more earthquakes. 3 more earthquakes. This is a 2.62. And then 2 of them are down here in the Indian Ocean, just off the coast of the South Island. One is a 2.86, and this one is a 2.66. Just off the coast, on the water. These are minor earthquakes where if they were even on land, nobody would probably even felt these. Minor earthquakes can't be felt. Being in the water, the ocean waters absorb the shock waves of this quake. Nobody felt them. But plenty of earthquakes here in New Zealand. Plenty of them. But USGS doesn't want to show any of them. Really, do they ever? Ever. Now let's go across the Eastern Pacific here. Notice here in South America, they're showing us 2 earthquakes here. 3 earthquakes here. That's a big deal. That's a big deal. Because guess what? Yesterday here in South America, we had 65 earthquakes. 65 earthquakes. USGS is showing us 4. 4 earthquakes. 3 in Chile, and the 4th up in northern Peru. Interesting. Guess what? We have probably close to 70 earthquakes here in South America. Close to 70 earthquakes here in South America. Insane. That's insane. Down here in central Chile here. Down here in central Chile. 5.0 earthquake. Large earthquake. Large earthquake here. Okay? But they're not also showing 2 other earthquakes here as well. A 3.1 and a 2.1 earthquake here. 3.1, 2.1 earthquakes just here in the same area. 5.0 earthquake, they're not showing anything else here. We go north. Interesting enough. Oh, this is weird. This is really weird. Just a second here. Oh, that's wild. That's wild. Okay, guys. This earthquake right here is another 5.1 earthquake. Interesting. 2 5s here. 2 5 earthquakes here. That's interesting, isn't it? But they're not showing any other earthquakes. What a joke. Guess what? There are actually 6 earthquakes here. 6 other aftershocks. 6 other aftershocks here. Okay? All around there. 4.0 aftershock, 3.3 aftershock, and 2.4 aftershock right there. 4.0, 3.8, and 2.4 4, 2.4. Over on the eastern side of that large earthquake, 4 more aftershocks. 4 more aftershocks. Going west-east, 3.1, 2.5, 3.0, 2.7, and another 3.0 aftershock. Small earthquake aftershocks. Large earthquake. The large earthquake happened. Large earthquake happened over here on the the Western Continental Divide here in South America. Andes Mountains. Near the eastern side of the top of the Andes Mountains here. Interesting. Large earthquake. Now, we go out here further to the west. Further to the west. 5 more earthquakes right there. 5 more earthquakes here. Going from west east. 3.3, 3.0, 3.2, 3.1, and 3.8. Set of 5 threes here. 5 threes here. Same area. Same area. Now we go further to the north here. Further to the north here. Offshore from Coquimbo, Chile. This is a 2.7 earthquake there. 2.7 earthquake. Up towards the north here. I don't know why it's not letting me control this. Okay. It actually disconnected my broadcast software, but I can see we're back on the air here, which is good. Okay. Going just barely to the north there. Just to the north. More earthquakes. More earthquakes. This is a 2.7 earthquake there. That's just offshore from Coquimbo. 2.7. Further north, 4 more earthquakes. 4 more earthquakes. That's a 3.2. 3.2, 2.8, 2.8, and 3.0. 3.0 earthquake there. Okay, that's near Atacama, Chile. Northern Chile again. Northern Chile. Interesting. They don't want to see what's going on here at all. They don't want anybody to see what's happening, which is rather unfortunate here. Let's zoom in here. I want to show you what's going on here. Atacama, Chile. Atacama, Chile is right here. That's Atacama, which is one of the counties here in Chile. To the north is Antofagasta, Chile. Antofagasta, Chile. What they're not showing are a lot of earthquakes. Tons of earthquakes here. We have 2, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 27 earthquakes. 27 earthquakes here in northern Chile. 27 earthquakes here in northern Chile. Now I'm just going to pop some off here. This is a 2.7 minor earthquake. Going further south, this is also 2.7 minor earthquake. Over in Atacama, Chile, 2.5. Further down here, Antofagasta, 2.6. Up to the north, Tarapaca, Chile, also county here, 3.1 earthquake, small earthquake. 3.1, 2.7, 2.7, 2.9, 4.9, 5.0. They're not even showing this on the USGS map. 4.9, 5.0 right there. And one more here, a 2.5 minor earthquake here. Unreal. Uncut, picking real. There were 65 earthquakes here in South America yesterday, yet they don't want to show what's going on. They don't want to show what's happening here. I'm asking the question, why not? Why are they not wanting to show us what's happening here? A lot of earthquakes. Lots and lots of earthquakes. Up here in Peru, northern Peru here, on the eastern side of the Andes Mountains here. In this case, this near Nuevo Cutavero, San Martin, Peru, a 4.3 earthquake here. 4.3 moderate earthquake here. Okay. They still don't want to actually show us what's going on here at all. Going up here into Colombia. Three more earthquakes in Colombia and 2 more in Venezuela. This is a 3.3 earthquake there. Just to the northeast, 3.0, and a 3.4 earthquake there near Santander, Colombia. Interesting. But they still don't want to see what's going on here. What the heck? Why don't they want us to know what's going on here? Let's go over into eastern Venezuela here. Eastern Venezuela. Right there. Now we're near the coastline here. Near the coastline. We have a 2.5 and 2.9 earthquake here. 2.5 and a 2.9 earthquake there. Okay. That's near San Joaquin, Carabobo, Venezuela. 2.9. And then near Carquitas, Guara, Venezuela, we have a 2.5. 2.9, 2.5 Venezuela. USGS showing nothing. Not a thing. I have issues with that, as you know. They should be showing. Why? Number one, there are U.S. citizens there. U.S. citizens, any one of us could also be there. We'd want to know what's going on. But again, they don't want to show us for whatever the reason. Okay. Now, I want to go and reduce this map somewhat and go over here into Central America. Central America. They're showing us one earthquake here in Guatemala, 4.8. Guess what? Guess what? This happened yesterday. 4.8 earthquake last evening. Yesterday, there were 19 earthquakes here in Central America. 19. They showed us 2 of them. They showed us 2 of them here in Central America. They're showing us one 4.8 here off the coast of Guatemala. Interesting. They're not showing us anything here in southern Mexico. Guess what we had here yesterday? 98 earthquakes here in southern Mexico. 98 earthquakes between the border of Guatemala and over here in Puerto Vallarta. Puerto Vallarta to the north. Why are they not showing the earthquakes? Why not? They should be. They should be. Let me show you something, guys. Let me show you something that's very real here. We have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 39, 40, 42, 43, 44, 46, 48, 50, 52 earthquakes. Yesterday we had 98. We have 52 earthquakes here in southern Mexico. 52. That's insane. That's totally insane here, guys. That's completely insane. Why are they only showing us nothing? Why are they? They should be showing us everything at this point in time. Literally everything. They're still not showing us what's going on here. Why not? Why not, guys? Okay. Now I want to go over here to Louisiana. Louisiana. This is western Louisiana here. Yesterday we had a 2.6 earthquake here. Guess what we had here today in Louisiana? This is a 4.4 earthquake here. This is a 4.4 moderate earthquake here in Louisiana, Edgefield, Louisiana. That's a big deal. That's a huge deal. This is on the western side of the what? New Madrid Fault. New Madrid Fault. 4.4 earthquake here. 4.4 earthquake. Guess what? There's one other earthquake as well. That earthquake is a 3.1 earthquake here. 3.1 earthquake also here near Edgefield, Louisiana. So they're still not showing us exactly what's going on here. I would like to know why. This is the United States of America. They should be showing us everything going on, but they're not. Why not? Why not, guys? I think it's pertinent. I think it's very pertinent. Over here in West Central Texas, fracking earthquakes here. Fracking earthquakes. Nothing above a 3.2 earthquake here in western, southwestern, and central Texas. Minor tremors and minor earthquakes. Minor tremors and minor earthquakes here in west central and southwestern Texas. Fracking earthquakes. Oil fields, guys, oil fields. That's what's happening here. Okay? Here in Southern California, I'm going to tell you this. You folks here in Southern California need to be very wary of what's happening. You need to stay on top of it. Stay with EMA channel here to find out what's going on here in California. Because, guys, we are expecting a large earthquake here. A very large earthquake here in Southern California. They don't want to be honest with us at all. They're not showing us everything going on at all. Not here in the US or anywhere else. Not at all. Here in Northeast San Diego County, they're showing us 4 earthquakes. 4 earthquakes. That's insane. That's literally insane. They're hardly showing us anything at all here. That's insane. That's literally insane, guys. Let's go down here into the Imperial County first. Let's go down here in the Imperial County here. They're only showing us 4 earthquakes here between Borrego Springs and Northeast San Diego County and Western Imperial County here. Look what's actually happened. Look out, guys. Southern California is ramping up. Southern California is ramping up. Okay? There's going to soon be a large earthquake here. There's soon to be a large earthquake here. When they're not showing us earthquakes, better be certain about what's going on because they're not going to tell us about it. They're not going to tell us about it at all. Sorry about it. I don't know why this happened, but all of a sudden, the USGS map flew further to the north when we were talking about Southern California. Southern California is ramping up. Everybody here in Southern California, you need to make sure you have your preparedness kits and have an emergency map and have an emergency plan. Have a plan. Why? Because when the earthquakes start happening, if you're not prepared, you're going to be plumb out of luck. You're going to be plumb out of luck. USGS is not showing us much of anything. Look at that. All kinds of seismic activity, most of it on the San Jacinto Fault. This time not on the San Andreas, but on the San Jacinto. San Jacinto. Just to point out a few. Just a few here. To the north, Val Vista is 0.16 microquake. 0.16 microquake. Going south, 0.47 Idlewild, California. We're going to talk more about Idlewild tomorrow. Val Vista, California, 1.18. 0.99 Anza Borrego Desert State Park. Anza Gap area. Further to the south, also in the Anza Borrego Desert State Park, is 0.3. Borrego Springs, a 0.98. That's still Northeast San Diego County. Also further to the south in Borrego is 0.85 and a 1.37 here in Borrego Springs and the Borrego Desert State Park, Northeast San Diego County. Moving. All kinds of movement. But further to the southwest on the Elsinore Fault. The Elsinore Fault, guys. Elsinore Fault. Coming out of Lake Elsinore, Orange County. Coming out of Lake Elsinore, Orange County. Here I'm going to show you Lake Elsinore. Let me move this map. Can't manipulate here with a computer anyway. You see where Lake Elsinore is? That's the Elsinore Fault right there. Further to the south, this is Marietta, California. We have an earthquake. That earthquake is 0.36 microquake on the Elsinore Fault. Further to the south, also on the Elsinore Fault, Palomar Observatory, 7,100 feet in the air. Palomar Observatory, 0.83 microquake here on the Elsinore Fault. Further to the south, Lake Henshaw, northeast of Escondido. Northeast of Escondido, still in North San Diego County. This is a 0.91.0 tremor. 0.91.0 tremor here. Okay? This is just northeast of Escondido. Further to the south, Julian, California. This is a 0.53 microquake in Julian, California. Further to the south, this is 8 miles east-southeast of Julian, 0.7 microquake. Then further to the south, also on the Elsinore Fault, is a 0.66 microquake there. Okay? That's what's going on here. Okay? I'm going to take down the USGS map here. Since I can't manipulate with my okay, for kicks and giggles here. For kicks and giggles. Let's go north here this time. Los Angeles County, offshore, near Malibu, California. This is a 1.34 tremor here. 1.34 minor earthquake tremor here off the coast of Los Angeles, near Malibu, California. Okay? But they're still not showing us all the earthquakes. Interesting. Let's go up to the Garlock Fault. The Garlock Fault. Mojave, California. 0.89 microquake. Mojave, California. Over here near Boron, California. That's where they pull boron out of the ground to get borax soap. Borax soap. 1.46 microquake there. 1.46 microquake there. Then we go up to Ridgecrest. Ridgecrest. Remember Ridgecrest? 2019, July 3rd and July 4th, 2019. 2 6.9 earthquakes and a 7.1. Look at the earthquakes here. Let's go and take a look at it. Take a look at it. Ridgecrest, 1.07 tremor. Also right here in Ridgecrest, 1.0. 1.0. Going north from there, we talked about Little Lake, California, over here in the Mojave Desert. This happens to be 8 miles north of Ridgecrest. 0.7 minor tremor here. Just north there is a 0.41 microquake. These are microquakes. Going north here, Searles Valley, 1.5 tremor here. Going out here to the northeast, this is northeast Searles Valley, 1.07 tremor here. Out to the west, now we are in Olancha, California, 65 miles north of Ridgecrest. 65 miles north of Ridgecrest. There's a 0.73 minor microquake. Here's a 0.6 microquake here. Fiji just had one large earthquake and another minor, or another 4.6 earthquake. Large 5 and then a 4.6 moderate quake. Fiji region, just minutes ago. Then we go north from Olancia. Now we are in Koza Junction, Koza Volcanic Field. Koza Volcanic Field here. Okay? This is one more place where we have geomagnetic or geothermal facilities. In other words, men have drilled into the upper magma chambers of the Koza volcano to obtain steam to power turbines here in the Koza volcanic region. Here's a 1.73 tremor here in Koza volcanic field. 1.73 tremor here. Just north there, 0.91 microquake. 0.91 microquake there. Unreal. Cotton picking real. Now, guys, why do you think we have a geothermal facility here? Because of Harry Reid, the former Nevada senator from Las Vegas. He got the Senate to approve money to build and drill into the upper magma chambers of these volcanoes to pull steam from the volcanoes to power turbines in these fields to generate electricity. That's what they're doing here. That's exactly what they're doing here in Koza Volcanic Field and over in the geysers facility as well. Okay? Great big huge turbines being powered by steam from the volcano. Unreal. Unreal. Now, I want to show you something. Okay, let's go over to San Ramon again. One of our own EMA family members has a daughter here in San Ramon. San Ramon is still moving. Here's a 2.0 earthquake here in San Ramon, California today. San Ramon has been rocking minor tremors and microquakes for quite some time, and now we're having some minor earthquakes as well. San Ramon, California. Okay? Over on the San Andreas Fault, on the western side of San Francisco Bay, Pacifica, California. 1.55 tremor here in Pacifica, California, on the San Andreas Fault, just west of San Francisco Bay. That's what's going on. Does anybody have any questions for me? Any questions? Now, I want to go over to Oregon. Just off the coast of Yatchatz, Oregon. We had an earthquake here last week. We have another one today. This is a 2.46 earthquake off of Yatchatz, Oregon today. Off the coast, in the Cascadia subduction zone. It's still moving. Still moving a great deal. Okay? Those are not the only earthquakes here. Okay? Now I want to go north, over in Carson, Washington, southeast from Mount St. Helens, Carson, Washington. This is a 0.93 tremor here. 0.93 tremor just southeast of Mount St. Helens and southwest from Mount Adams. From Mount Adams here. Okay? We can go north. This time southwest of Mount Rainier. Mineral, Washington. 1.29 tremor here. Mineral, Washington. They're still not showing us earthquakes at the volcanoes. They don't want us to know what's happening. There are earthquakes there. Northwest of Mount Rainier. Capucin, Washington again. This past week, we had 4 earthquakes here in our campus in Washington. One of them was called a what? They tried to call it an explosion. There's no explosions in this area, ever. Today, we have 1.4 tremor here in campus in Washington. That's what's happening there. Now, guys, I have some things I need to talk to you about. Before I do that, one more earthquake near Cabot, Washington. Northwestern Washington, Cabot, Washington is 0.98, 1.0 tremor here near Cabot, Washington. Cabot, Washington. Okay. I have some things we need to talk about. Okay. As we told you this past week, 7 servicemen have been killed in the Iranian conflict. 7 of our servicemen have been killed in the Iranian conflict so far. That's pretty sad. That's very sad, considering what's actually happening. We have dropped more than several tons of bombs on Iran. We've totally obliterated their nuclear program. We've taken their imams, we've taken their leadership from Iran. Yesterday morning, they tapped one of the former Ayatollah's sons to be the next Ayatollah. Guess what? We took him out yesterday. So now we've killed, unalived, the original Ayatollah. We took out one of his sons, another son, yesterday. We've unalived at least 60 to 70 leaders of the Iranian party, the Iranian Islamic Party. Eliminate them. There's still a lot of work to do. As President Trump has said, there's still a lot of work to do. It's an ongoing project. This is an ongoing project. Not over at all. When do we think it'll be over? President Trump is still saying several weeks. Several more weeks of fighting. Now, yesterday, Iran leadership took out a residential area in Iran. At first, the United States military thought it was us. It wasn't. It wasn't U.S. military. It was Iran's leadership. Took out their own people. Took them out. Why? Why did they take him out? They killed their own people. The simple reason is this. They want to make sure they have control of people. And yes, in the past, they've had to unalive people themselves so they could keep the people they could trust. They had stopped people from protesting against them. They beheaded them, they annihilated them, shot them dead. They're still doing this today. Now, I'm not willing to force my views upon you or ask anyone to agree with me. I don't want to impose any of my views upon you, any of you. I don't want you to necessarily agree with what I say. But hear me out, please. What I have to say is my opinion, and it may have some validity to your life. That's all I'm asking. During the past week, we've lost 7 servicemen wearing our uniform in the Iranian theater of conflict. 7 military men who wore the uniform of the United States military. Now, while I have not worn the uniform myself, I wore the uniform of the United States Federal Police Department in San Diego and also in Denver. I wore the Federal Police uniform. I think that gives me the right to speak about this, what I'm going to say tonight. I wore the uniform. I took an oath to serve this country. I've taken an oath to serve this country and to serve you as well, and help you protect you as well. Now, I have also known probably hundreds of men and women that have worn the military uniform. My own father, my uncles, my cousins have worn the uniform of the United States military. I love them. I still love them. They wore the uniform. They served our country. As all of you know, I love this country more than anything. Some of my best friends have worn the uniform. They started in the lowest ranks of the service, and some of them worked very hard. They had the very stick-to-itiveness it takes to get the job done and to get them where they wanted to go. One of my dear friends, I helped my father take him to the United States Naval Facility in San Diego to undergo boot training in San Diego. We took him to the boot training facility in San Diego. My father also ranked through the Navy in San Diego. But again, we dropped one of my friends to the boot camp for the Navy in San Diego. He labored there. Over the years, he was sent to different boats throughout the Navy service. I'm going to talk about him in just a minute. But one of the things I don't like, my father made rank here in the Navy, but I had gotten so tired of hearing the mainstream media commentators that act like they know what it's like to serve in the military. 99% of them never served in the military at all. At all. They've never even stepped on a military base. Never. But they want to be in our heads. They want to tell us what they think. Tell us what they think that they know, which they don't. As if they had been in the military service. Some of them said they haven't served their country in uniform in war-torn areas of our world. But they want to tell us what it's like. They want to tell the veterans what it's like. It's absolutely insane. It's like they know what each one of us are going to do, yet they have not once one even stepped in one of our shoes. This is total lame ignorance. They want to tell us what to do, but they've never stepped in our shoes. They have no clue. They have no clue. Now, I get we all have an opinion. All of us have an opinion. I'm going to give you my opinion tonight. Now, it doesn't mean that we express it in such an ignorant way either. I don't want to even go there. Don't want to go there. Our soldiers knew exactly what they were signing up for. They knew what they would learn. They knew that they were going to grow and understand things that they might not have heard of before they went in the service. They also may not have understood it before either. Now, you don't have to be a member of the SEALs team or have served in a special forces team either. Every person knows when they sign up, they may not come home. There have been many United States soldiers who have been killed by Iranian proxies over the last 4 decades. Last 4 decades. Back in 1979, Iranian proxies kidnapped our embassy staff in Tehran, Iran. Kidnapped them and murdered some of them. Right before President Reagan took over, right before he became president, Iran released the hostages that they've had. They released all of our embassy staff. because they were afraid that President Reagan would take on a military tone and come after them. So Iran released their hostages. January 1984. But again, Iran has killed many people from the United States that were United States citizens because they believe like we do. Yet there's no actual military war campaign against them. They killed our servicemen anyway. Now, when it is politically convenient for everyone to have Israeli derangement syndrome, yes, I said it, Israeli derangement syndrome. Now we want to make them a point. We want to make a point here. They want to have this derangement syndrome. We want to make a point. That point is this. Now, when it's politically convenient for everyone to have Israeli derangement syndrome, we can disagree with the president. We can disagree with these policies. We may disagree with Israel and their policies, but keep our veterans out. Keep our veterans out. They don't deserve it. They don't deserve this persecution that these Democrats are giving them. They don't deserve it. Keep our veterans out of it. Keep them clean out of it. These veterans were injured and killed. Were doing something that they loved and what they've been asked to do as well. Those of us who have had a relationship with God, we can understand the history with our country and our people in Iran and how our people have been injured and murdered by these bloodthirsty evil people. They've been injured and persecuted by these bloodthirsty evil people. We are consistent in our principles here in this country. We're consistent with our beliefs. I do not understand why people are so hell-bent on destroying Israel, except for the fact that evil men have conspired against Israel for millennia. Nevertheless, these great men who lost their lives this past week did not die for Israel. They died fighting for our country. They were fighting not just for themselves, but fighting for their families. But for each and every one of us, they were fighting. They were fighting for our freedoms. Because if we have not gone in there and done what we've done, pretty soon Iran would be attacking us on our own shores. Those servicemen that lost their lives were wearing the uniform of the United States military. To live our lives now, we want to continue living, don't we? We want to enjoy our lives, our freedom to worship as we please. But we can't when people try to persecute us and take that freedom away from us. We want to enjoy our lives. We want to enjoy our freedoms to worship as we please. Not to be told how we should live, not to be told who we should be or how we should worship or who we should worship or what we should do necessarily. The 7 men that laid down their lives this week for us and their families. The scriptures teach us no greater love has no one than to lay down their lives for one's friends. John 15, verse 13. Greater love has no one than this, to lay down their lives for one's friends. This defines the highest and most sacrificial form of love, modeled by Jesus' own sacrifice for all of us. All of us. What a concept. Is this not what those men did for us? To me personally, this challenges me. And I personally think this challenges all of us as individuals to put other men's needs before our own, put other people's needs before our own, as those men did. This often is manifesting itself in daily sacrifice of time. Our daily sacrifice of time, comfort, and in extreme cases, our own lives, our life. This is deliberate. This is deliberate, action-oriented love that transcends mere words, focusing on profound selfless acts for another person's well-being. How can we define this in our own lives? How can we do that? Beyond literal death. This means dying to self. Dying to self daily by sacrificing our personal desires, our personal plans, and our personal comforts to serve others. Serving others. When we sign up to serve in the military, or we sign up to serve in first responders work, we vow through uplifted hand to do what we have to do to keep our fellow citizens safe, to keep ourselves and our families safe as well. And if we are police, firefighters, paramedics, to keep our partners safe as well and bring them back home. And to keep our families safe as well. And return home after our shift is over. This includes being present for someone, offering support, sacrificing sleep for a child, or as men working to provide for their families. Now, folks, as my time as a police officer lived, I sat on catwalks above a highway for hours on end, several highways, in fact. I sat on catwalks above the highways as traffic flew down the highway. I sat there trying to talk someone up from giving up their life and falling down in front of a car on the highway. During my time on those catwalks, I never lost one person. No one ever jumped from a catwalk. I lost one man. I lost one man in a military facility in San Diego County. He jumped down an 11-story building and killed himself. I was in his room that day to try to stop him. My partner, Robbie, went downstairs and tried to help the fire department put up a net in case he jumped. Unfortunately, he pushed himself out further than the net. They didn't have the net deployed quite yet. He jumped out of the building and killed himself. I was present trying to stop him. I was present trying to save his life. That's what we need to do. I sacrificed my time. Yes, at the time I was getting paid for it. But I've spent many, many sleepless nights over the years, agonizing because of the work that I did, wondering whether anybody even cared. I tried to save as many lives as I could. That's why we're doing what we're doing tonight. I have sacrificed sleep for my own children. I have sacrificed sleep for my family. I have sacrificed sleep for all of you. So have our servicemen and women. All of us have responsibilities, expectations, worries that others may not ever see. You might even carry those worries home. Some of us have. But you may never have to carry it alone yourself. God walks beside you in the ordinary and in the difficult times of life. God walks beside you. What I'm going to ask you today, allow yourself a moment to breathe. Allow yourself a moment to trust. Trust in Him with whatever feels heavy for you. Trust in Him. His strength will meet you right where you're at and carry you through your burdens. This concept is heavily and deeply rooted in the scriptures. Jesus himself spoke to the Pharisees. He spoke to Nicodemus, a Pharisee attorney, during night meeting. Spoke to him, highlighting the transition from Jewish law to salvation through faith, specifically in Jesus' own words to his disciples, John 3:16, which emphasize loving in action. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believes in him shall not perish, but have everlasting life. No one shall perish, but have everlasting life. Jesus promised that to us. Jesus promised us that as well today. He promises us everlasting life today, in our own lives, in our own time, our families as well. Promises us to love him, to love us. It summarizes the core message of the gospel of Jesus Christ, God's love, the sacrifice of Jesus Christ, the necessity of faith, and the promise of salvation. Like I said, it's often considered the core summary of the gospel. The manner in which God loved the world by giving his Son for us. God's love is universal. God's love is universal, extending to all people, not just a specific nation. When he speaks of God giving, when he speaks of God giving us his only begotten Son, this highlights the divinity of Jesus and his unique relationship with God, his Father. Salvation is open to anyone, regardless of your background. Whoso believeth in him should not perish, offers assurance of safety from spiritual death, but shall have eternal life, promises us a long-lasting, forever, eternal relationship with God, a forever, long-term, eternal relationship with God. Promise that to us. This reflects the love of Christ aiming to mirror his humility and service, according to heavenly service and eternal love and devotion to us, each one of us. When I think of these 7 men today, I think of them exemplifying the scripture found in Philippians 4, verse 13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I believe that these brave men did just that. They gave their lives for Christ, who strengthened them and their families. They gave their life for all of us. All of us. Now, I don't think that they considered the thought that they were leaving and going into their eternal reward on that particular day. I don't think they even considered the thought that they were going to leave this world and go into their eternal reward on that particular day. But they were ready to do so. They had done whatever they had been asked to do. As the scriptures teach us, I will go and do the things that the Lord has me do. For I know that the Lord giveth no commandments unto the children of men, save he shall prepare a way for them that they might accomplish the thing which he commanded them. Those men serve God. Those men serve their families. Those men serve for all of us and our country. Those men are heroes. When we do the things which we've been asked to do, we demonstrate the relationship between obedience, knowledge, and faith. We don't start out our lives knowing everything we need to know to return to our Heavenly Father. We all have been given a chance to come to this earth and learn. We've all been given a chance to learn about Jesus Christ and to accept him as our Savior, and then do everything in our power to help ourselves, our families, and our friends to return to him. The scripture I often think of is this: line upon line, precept upon precept, Isaiah 28, verses 10 and 13. This refers to a gradual incremental process of learning, revelation, or even spiritual growth, often described as receiving knowledge. Here a little and there a little. It signifies patience, slow and consistent instruction, rather than instant understanding or instant gratification. Slow, consistent instruction. That's why we're here. This is exactly why we're here. This is how we can receive divine wisdom. This is how we can receive our own testimony of Jesus Christ and confirmation that the revelations given to us are true. We can receive divine revelation for each one of us in our lives. And as a parents, we can receive revelation for our families, our children, brothers and sisters. It's my testimony to you that I know for a fact these men are in heaven with their Savior and our Heavenly Father now. They've earned that right. They've served God. They've served each one of us. They've gone and done their duty to all of us and to God as well. May we also abide in that promise that we will obey the commands and follow God. Follow Him where He would have us go, what He would have us do, so that we might prepare ourselves to one day live with Him again. I bear you my testimony that I know the gospel of Jesus Christ is true. He loves us. He loves us so much that He gave us His only begotten Son, that whoso believeth in Him should not perish, but have everlasting life. May God bless each one of us, that we may receive the testimony of Jesus Christ and even do what those uniformed services members did, to serve our fellow beings and to serve God. I leave you my testimony. I know it's true. May God bless you this day. May God bless you and your families. You might be safe and loved. Tomorrow we'll be back on the air tomorrow reading with information about the pneumatic fault and earthquakes on the East Coast as well. Until then, guys, I hope you have a good night and better tomorrow. If anything happens between now and then, we'll be back on the air to tell you about it as soon as the information becomes available. That I promise you. Have a good night. Be safe out there. God be with you until we meet again. Have a good evening. Take care, everyone. Be safe. We'll see you soon. God bless. Have a good night. Take care, everyone. Take care, everybody. God bless.